Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome back to Success Secrets Revealed. We have a great guest with you today, Carolyn Flowers. Flower, there's no S there. That's my Boston reading, okay? So Success Secrets Revealed. I put together this show to bring on business owners and entrepreneurs who've already had some success, been there and done that, so they can come here and help people who want to either start a business or scale and grow the current business they have. I have a radio show, 1.7 million listeners, called Internet Marketing and Business Solutions with Ronald Couming. This August will make 4 years that I've been doing it. I literally have 500-600 videos up on YouTube. Every radio show clip I did is up there as well. But right now, because of COVID, the radio station has stopped doing live show, so I can't physically go in there, right? So what we're doing now, I didn't want to just stop. So I pivoted. So now I'm doing these live streams, and I'm taking the audio out. I'm sending the audio to the radio station so they can run live episodes. So people like our guest today will get in front of 1.7 million people in a rotation. But the lives will also be shared throughout multiple social media platforms. So actually, people are getting, a ton more exposure. And what's more important to me is that our listeners and our viewers are still getting current, accurate, up-to-date information on how to achieve even greater success. So that's how Success Secrets Revealed came about. And this is like maybe my second month doing it. I do 5 a week. I used to do 1 a day. Now I'm doing 5 on one day. That way, if it's nice and sunny out, I'm going to the beach. We are sponsored by RCS Online Solutions. That's my company. We basically help business owners and entrepreneurs attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients to achieve even greater success. At the end of the day, you can have the best product, service, solutions. You can have the best websites, the best funnels, the best videos. If people can't find you, they can't consider you, and they can't hire you. They need to be able to find you, not for your name or your company's name. They need to be able to find you for the products, solutions, and services you provide. Now we have a great guest for us. Today is Carolyn Flowers. She is the CEO of Oxygen Publishing Agencies. She is an international author, mentor, best-selling author, and publisher. She empowers individuals, experts, leaders to write books, build authority in the marketplace, and make a powerful impact by inspiring others. She integrates personal growth and mindset strategies into her 28-year practice and offers her clients value-rich personalization and structured guidance to achieve publishing goals and start changing lives. She and her Author Academy masterclass coaches, as well as her publishing agency team of experts, are passionate about telling your extraordinary story and how your story will grow your brand and business. Work with Carolyn and experience her unique ability to draw from you the power of your unique story in record time, and you'll not only believe that your story matters, but you'll also feel complete and share it with the world. Now help me welcome Carolyn Flower.
Hey. Thank you, Ronald. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. It was kind of a long one, and usually, I'm not going to lie, I should have had my glasses on, but I'm kind of in denial with the age thing. I still think I'm 29,
But you are, though.
Thank you.
But you are.
Thank you.
You are. It's pretty short and sweet. I help people become authors, write books, change the world. That's what I love to do.
And that's so huge. I mean, right now, I own an online marketing company, and one of the main things that I will tell a client, and we don't do books, but one of the main things I will tell them is get published. If you become a published author, people are it just elevates you in terms of getting speaking gigs or selling your products, selling your services. You might not make $1 million on your book, but it opens the door for other opportunities. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's like I couldn't have said it better myself, right? So you're amplifying your influence. And a lot of writers who are aspiring authors come to me and they get kind of hung up on the, who am I? Like there's a lot of limiting beliefs that keep people from writing books. I mean, so underneath it all, it's like, who am I to write a book? Well, if you are an authority on your zone of genius and whatever it is, whether it's your imagination writing fiction, or if it's a nonfiction, it's your expertise over, a number of years, an author is simply an authority. The word author is in the word authority. That's who you are. So now it's like, how do we get that out of your head or from the many parts that it may be, sitting in computer files, journal books, or what have you? How do we pull that together? How do we discover what is the extraordinary story that you have to offer? How is it that by sharing that, whether it's, your adversity, your triumphs, your overcoming things, and taking everything that you know now and helping another by writing it and sharing it. So it takes courage. There's vulnerability. There's a lot of factors that get in the way of why people actually don't follow through and write the book. So what I do is I basically hold their hand through that process because I know what's going to happen along the way. So we've got a team where we create the education part behind it. And then when you're ready to move into the publishing, well, then we have the team to help you do that as well.
I love it. And in today's world, I mean, first of all, I think one of the main things, there's probably two things that might affect people. One is confidence. Do I have a story anybody wants to hear, right? And of course, I'll probably bet you 90%. I can't believe the backstories of some of the people that I hear that come on as my guests. And when I speak on the stages across the countries, they'll usually start to connect with the audience. They'll start and talk about their backstories. So we see people who are successful, but that's usually 5, 10, 15, 20 years later.
That's right.
Several years. Look at Les Brown. He was sleeping in the office, right?
Yep.
And getting dressed, you know what I mean? And washing up and pretending like, and they finally, the people at the front desk had to give him a note and say, dude, you got to stop. But now look at him and many, many other people.
Well, just about everybody, just about everyone. We see the tip of the iceberg. We don't see everything that's underneath because so many influencers that have been working toward, helping people in greater and more impactful ways started out with what we all have inside us where, how can we serve? How can we help somebody? Yep. So it's whether or not you take action on that, whether or not you listen to, some of the awareness that's going to come to you along the way. Now, I can talk to you and you could tell me the part of your story that you think is significant. But after we have a conversation, I'm going to uncover there's a lot more there than even you realize that could help other people. So, we tend to say we're like 25-year success stories because you may only see the success we have now, but you haven't seen all the time that we've spent in the trenches building that up, reaching out to people one story at a time. So it is my belief that writing books and becoming authors is kind of I do things the other way around. Okay. I help people become authors and then write books. Because it's in the becoming, it's in the moving you through the stage of the person that you are today into the person that you are tomorrow, who is now an authority, who is now the leader, who somebody's going to look to you for education and expertise and wisdom. Yep. Some people don't believe in that journey for themselves. They don't have, the inner confidence for that. So that's the part of the becoming that's so important because if we can move you through that, writing the book, that's not the challenge.
Right. Yeah, I love it. And right. And also, one of the things that when I hear people, who we see who are successful, and I hear them telling their backstory, to me, that makes them real, raw, and relatable. Now I'm interested in what else they have to say because when I first sit there and I see them up on the stage, there is kind of like an intimidation factor, right? They're the expert, they're this, there's that. But then you hear about their story and they became that expert. Yeah. But that's the same, I think, for a lot of people. So that might be one thing that holds them back, that lack of do I really have something? And then the other thing might be time and cost and functionality, but the way it's worked today, to get a book up and out there is far different than it was 15 years ago. Am I correct in that?
Oh, it's far different than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Because people now have the ability, they have access to tools that they didn't have access before. Okay. And so, when you think about the old school traditional publishing route that people tend to go to because that's all they think that exists, or the opposite, the polar opposite, which is self-publishing. Self-publishing is really doing it yourself without the help of any professionals to help you along the way. Independently publishing, which is what we do, you own everything, your rights. Even more importantly now, should you own your rights, because now we have access to independently creating other ways to bring our books to new levels. Maybe you want to make a series on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. I mean, you need to own, right? You need to own your IP for that. So it's even more important now that nobody else has any rights other than you to your intellectual property, your book.
Yep.
But listen, how do I get from here to there? You probably don't know all of the parts to that puzzle. So if you have a group of people who are specialized to help you and guide you along what I call that pathway to publishing, it's like an odyssey. You're now going to integrate personal development, personal growth. You're going to learn a few things about yourself along the way.
Yep.
And then we're going to figure out, well, how does this book integrate, for example, with the brand and the business that you're creating? Because you're right. Maybe the book is going to be what is your rocket fuel, but maybe it's the brand and the business that's the rocket fuel. And the book is just the catalyst to get it all started. But how do we make them all work in harmony with one another? And that's where having a team who knows what they're doing is going to be of benefit to you.
I love it. Tell us a little bit about your process. If somebody starts with you, if somebody wanted to start to work with you, what would be like the first few steps and what could they expect?
Well, the first step would be to book a call with me. And so we call that a discovery call, and that's what it's meant to do. You and I, first of all, you got to kind of meet who might be guiding you along the process. I like that personal exchange of energy. So we get on a discovery call together, you and I, and you're going to tell me a little bit about yourself and your story. And maybe you're further along in the journey, or maybe you just have an idea. And I actually love that part of the process where you just have an idea. You don't really quite know how that idea is going to come to life yet. So we get on a call, we have that conversation. And then depending where you are in this writing, publishing process, maybe you have a manuscript and it's finished and you just need to come into the publishing side where we have the editing and the design and all that. Or chances are you're in the middle of a writing or you haven't written yet. So the first place would be to get on a call. We talk about where you are. And I try to meet you where you're at. Discover what your goals are. What is it that you think this book means to you? How can you serve other people? And then I can develop a plan for you. So you would come in and work with me maybe in the Shape Your Story program. So my business is divided up into the academy. It's called the International Academy of Authorships. So you're going to learn with me and with team members who are going to help you kind of shape that, develop and edit that story. And then when you're ready to move into that next phase of actually putting this product together, then you would meet your editors and you would have your manuscript evaluated and you would move through design and upload and getting your book onto Amazon and having, your ISBN number and all that kind of thing. But at the very early stages, I still have a one-on-one program where I love working with, for a 4-week period, my authors, one-on-one private mentorship, and we really frame that and shape that story. So now you know where you're going. Now you have a direction, you have an end goal, you have targets, and then we really shape it, right? And what this story is going to be. And then wherever how much writing you do is up to you, and then how much you get done determines where the next place on the pathway is for you.
I love it. And is this Oxygen? What would be the best way? I'm looking now. We have Oxygen, the name of your company. I'm going to put here in a banner.
Yeah. So the company is Oxygen. You can get to me by going either to oxygenpublishing.com. You can schedule a call right up at the very top, or you can go to carolynflower.com and you can do the same thing. You can go schedule that discovery call and you can book that. It's 30 minutes with me. We're going to have a great discussion. I'm going to, ask you some questions. You're going to tell me a little bit about what you desire to write, what it is that you really want to do with this book. That's the most important part, right? Writing the book is the words to page. What is it about you and where you've been and where you want to go and how you want to help other people? What is that piece? And let's talk about that together, and then I can help you get there.
I love it. And I think, that whole, I don't want to say hand holding because I don't want to minimize it, but the process of helping somebody develop, to me, I think is priceless. It's the difference between success and failure. Because if we're left to our own demise, or we ask our cousin or our uncle or the person next door who's never written a book, doesn't see the value in it, doesn't understand the process, we're going to get nothing but negative information. We might get some rah, yeah, go ahead, you can do it. But if you don't have any type of guidance, where do you go with that? So I think what you're offering is a great service. People need to at least call you and figure it out.
Well, first of all, I love those calls, and I love what I do. It's kind of who I am more than what I do. It really is getting the investment of mentorship. And we all have mentors. I've been mentored by, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Deepak Chopra, Brendan Burchard. I've had so many, and more recently with Grant Cardone, learned so many nuggets of wisdom, right? From so many mentors. And here's the thing, if you want something, and you have a desire to achieve that goal, then yes, you want to talk to somebody who actually has the ability to get you where you want to go, and maybe integrates. I like to teach people how to fish. I want to help you get to the place where you can go and do some writing on your own, but then you have accountability with me and somebody who knows what some of the roadblocks are and what I call the flat tires. You know how you drive on a journey and you get some fog and you get a flat tire and you get off-roaded. You need somebody to keep you on track, to be able to make sure that you get to the goal that you've decided and set for yourself. And that requires taking inspired action consistently, being disciplined, and having accountability. So mentorship is super important for all of us. We all need mentors. And I take my role as a mentor pretty seriously. I really, first of all, I love it. And I love watching you, grow. So when I say at Oxygen Publishing, we breathe life into books. I mean, that is essentially what we're doing. We're taking something from the invisible and making it visible for you, and then watching you light up. It's fantastic.
I love it. And they're adding value to the world too, because there's so many other people who need to hear their story.
Yes. And if you've ever had the idea that I want to write a book, I should write a book, that little voice, and if people are listening to this, they understand what that voice is. And it starts to kind of whisper, and then it kind of starts to poke you a little bit. And then maybe somebody in your family says, you really should write a book about that. And you hear it more and more often. I just want to tell you, it's not going to go away until you take action and do something about it. It's not going to leave you alone, because it is very holistic. It is meant for you. If it comes to you, it's meant for you. So listen to the voice, because it's part of your future that's calling you forward. So take action on it. At least book a call and talk to me. Okay? Because that's easy. And then we'll see where you want to go from there.
Excellent. We have the type of people who listen to this show for the most part, and my radio show, are business owners, entrepreneurs, or they're a W-2 and they're looking to cross over, or they're considering it. Maybe they're getting close to retirement and they're trying to figure out, should I start a job? Should I buy a business or whatever? What are some tips that you can give them? I mean, obviously writing a book, becoming an expert in that space, but what are 3 tips, if you can, for somebody that wants to start a business, already has a business and wants to grow it, or has already had 5 years of success? I know one of the things is whatever got you here won't get you there. You need the mentors. I think what you just said is so huge. Having mentors, don't ask your broke brother-in-law for financial advice. Find somebody who's been there and done that in the space that you want. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. But I want you, could you just give us even if it's something that I just said, but 3 ideas that people could use to achieve even greater success?
Yeah, sure. I think one of the things that people undervalue is all of their accomplishments. I think it's a really worthy exercise to take a pen to paper or to the computer, but I'm still old school. I still write things down. Take a pen to paper and start evaluating. Don't pay attention to what are the things that you said you were going to do that you never did. Forget about those things for now. Focus on your accomplishments. Go back over your career. I do speak to a lot of entrepreneurs that are at this stage of their life, and they've got, decades of expertise in industry and corporate and whatever, their profession was. and they're retiring or moving into the next phase of their life. And don't leave all that knowledge in your head. For goodness sake, share it with people that are coming up in your industry that could benefit a great deal. You will inspire another. You will absolutely, I can guarantee you that 1,000%. If you package up your knowledge and you put it out there in the world in service to other people, you will change the life of another person. So isn't that the greatest reason of all, to put all of your expertise into one place? So evaluate your success, write all that down and say to yourself, how can I serve other people with everything that I know? How can I help others maybe not make some of the mistakes they've made? We've all kind of taken turns in our road, and everything takes us to the next place. So nothing really is an error. It is a learning opportunity. So write all that down. And I always say that life writes extraordinary stories. Let's tell yours. What are all the parts of your extraordinary stories? We tend to undervalue where we've come from, how we've learned throughout our lives. Write that down. Create for yourself some sort of a list, and ask yourself, who can I help with this? And then put a little bit more thought into that and evaluate a little bit how you might be able to take that to the next level. Now, here's the thing about time, right? We all get the same 24 hours, all of us. And why is it that some people accomplish more in those 24 hours and get more on their list of things you've got to imagine yourself with the wish fulfilled. It's already accomplished. So how do people get there at a faster pace than others? Because they don't manage time. We manage activity. So take a look at your calendar every day and say, if I were disciplined and I made a decision to write a book, for example, it applies to anything, but let's say a book, how could I manage my activity in a way that would get me closer to my goal faster? Because we all say we don't have time. In fact, we all have the same amount of time. We just use it differently. So take a look at your schedule and say, if this were a goal, if this were something that I had a burning desire to achieve, what could I reprioritize? What could I do over there and replace it with this action that I could take consistently that will get me to that goal? So I want people to think of their day in the managing their activity, not their time, because that will help them achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. So that would be my number 2 tip.
Okay.
And here's number 3. Imagine what it feels like when your book is written and your name's on the front and it arrives from Amazon with your name on it, and somebody purchases that first copy and they read it and they call you up and they say, oh man, you have no idea how you've changed my life. I'm so glad you made that decision to write the book, because everything changes. Yep. Okay. Your book, right? It takes on a life of its own once it's written. So my advice to everybody is to just take a little bit of time in the quiet and imagine what that would feel like for you as a personal accomplishment. And what would it feel like if you knew that somebody else took your words, applied them, and changed their life? Would that be worth reimagining your schedule, reprioritizing your schedule, getting down to the decision, and actually putting words to paper?
I love it. That's all sound stuff, man. And it's so vitally important too. I mean, just from a business perspective, when people writing a book, I mean, it literally will elevate your business, your authority in your space. It opens up doors. It becomes a business card. You can give them away for free at events, and then people read them,
Well, it duplicates you, Ronald. I mean, yep. What can you imagine having conversations with people about what you do for a living and how you help people, for example? By having a book, you can not have to repeat. I mean, you're going to repeat those conversations as frequently as you have to. But when you have a book, it's told your way, your words, your story. Okay. And then that book duplicates you. So if you can imagine the multiplier to your business with a book, whether you already have a brand in business and you want to add a book, because we have a lot of business people that we help create books for. And for some, they start their brand in business based on the book as a platform. Yeah. Bless you. And for others, bless you.
No COVID, I promise.
And for others, it's the other way around. They have the brand in the business already and they go, man, I need that one extra piece. to be able to bring that certain level of credibility and authority into my business by calling myself an author. And don't underestimate the power of that title. First of all, it's a major personal accomplishment, professional accomplishment, but at the same time, it is going to take your business to a completely different level. That is for certain.
I love it. Absolutely. And I agree wholeheartedly. I frequently tell my clients the same thing: get a different book. Now I have a resource to have them, to tell them to give you a ring.
Fantastic.
And, is there anything else? We have like 3 minutes left. Is there anything else you'd like to say in closing, or maybe give your contact info again? It is scrolling, but.
I see it there. Well, again, you can reach me at Carolyn Flower. That's with a Y and no S, carolynflower.com. And at Carolyn Flower, it's okay, it's common. At carolynflower.com, you'll learn a little bit about me. You'll see client testimonials there. You can also get to Oxygen Publishing there. You can see who my team are. Oxygen is all about transparency. It's all about innovation, and it's all about creating your story from integrity, from that place that's genuine. Because anything that we do in business, we need to do things in harmony. Everything has to work at a certain, energetic level so that it feels right. So if you want to write something with a team of people that really do kind of work the old-fashioned way, it's a human experience where you're actually talking to real people who are helping you in real time, just reach out and let's have that conversation and see how we can be of service to you.
Excellent. And I hope everybody will at least screenshot down below. You have both ways of contacting Carolyn. And I've said Flowers with an S, so I'm sure.
Okay, it's very common.
Yeah, it is. So I'm glad you said, especially in your URL, not to put it. Although I probably, if I was you, probably already have bought it with the S and then just redirect it.
I do.
Save yourself. Yeah, good. Yeah. All right. We talked earlier, though. You got a really good, I like your SEO and marketing stuff. So you got some good stuff going on there as well. Yeah. All right. So that's great. I mean, I'm just going to close out the show unless there's anything else you'd like to say.
I want to thank you. Thank you so much. I love this. I love having these conversations, and I love meeting people like yourselves that are really, building on behalf of their clients to kind of keep them also on the right track, doing things the right way the first time. That never goes out of style. Yeah. So, listen to the people that actually know what they're doing, that are authentic, that are genuine people, have those conversations. And it's been a real pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we'll talk some more. I'll learn a little bit more about what you do and how we can maybe integrate it at Oxygen Publishing.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. And both with cross referrals. A good friend of mine, Sharon Lecter, who's also a publisher, I'm sure.
I love her, Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Yeah, and she's done Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and she's done a lot of great books. And Think and Grow Rich for Women is another book. But anyhow, one time I heard her say, smart people learn from their mistakes. Geniuses learn from other people's mistakes.
Well, there you go. And you know what? Think and Grow Rich is a really big book. And I've studied with Bob Proctor for many years. And that is his book on all the teaching from that. So Think and Grow Rich is a staple in my library. As a matter of fact, it's here, and it's a copy that's signed by Bob Proctor, which is why I work from this one. And I actually have, if you go over and find me on social media, you will also find out that I have a book study club with Mike Scirocco, who is part of the 10X crew. And we start on July 6th, and it's called Powering People Book Study Club. And we're going to actually study Think and Grow Rich together, because specialized knowledge is one of those principles. And that's what Sharon Lecter talks about, the specialized knowledge and learning from other people's, their mistakes. You need to find people in your circle. You don't have to have all the knowledge. You're going to just surround yourself with a lot of people that do. And it's a really powerful principle for all of us in business.
I love it. Yep. And it's and Russell Brunson says it too, when you do his like one funnel away. But in the very beginning, he talks about not being so stressed out, trying to figure out how you're going to do your graphics, how you're going to do this, how you're going to. So it's not the what, it's the who.
That's correct.
If you don't, it's not the what needs to be done, it's who's going to do it. So you need to know who to hire, who to call. And so let me know about that. I would like to, maybe jump on and just be a part of that and listen and learn from you and when you start that course. So
yeah, I'll send you the link to that, and certainly I'll invite you over. It's, if you want to be part of my community, it's called Your Extraordinary Stories Community. come and ask to be part of that community. We'd love to welcome you there. It's for anybody who calls himself a creator, whether you're writing a book, creating course content. We do a lot of that too. And it's a fantastically supportive community. So if you would like to join us at Your Extraordinary Stories community, please do come over.
I love it so much great information. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. There we go. I'm still closing it out now. So I
appreciate you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much too. I got 3 different screens here and my mouse disappeared on me. Oh, well, here we go. Maybe if I go slower. All right. Hi, everyone. Now, that was an excellent episode. We were listening to Carolyn Flowers, who talks about why you want to write a book, the different steps of writing a book, how you can help other people in writing a book. When you have a book written, how that will help you, how it will open doors, how it becomes a business card, a calling card, how it sets you apart, how it creates what we call USP, unique selling proposition. What makes you different from the next person? Why should somebody hire you opposed to someone else when multiple people do exactly what you do too, or very similar, right? So having that book, it differentiates you. And as she also spoke about, from that book, you can then create courses and create communities. I mean, there is no negative to having a book and being an author. And the process is so much less painless than you might think it is, right? And I guarantee you got a story. So reach out, call Carolyn Flower with nos.com and schedule an appointment with her. There's no obligation, and take that from there. You've been listening to the Success Secrets Revealed live stream show with Ron Couming. We are sponsored by RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients. At the end of the day, you can have the best products, services, solutions, everything, the best copy, the best videos, but if people can't find you when they're searching for your solutions, then you've lost business and you've lost the opportunity to serve and change someone's life. So make sure you get found on the search engines. That's what we do. Often before you even pay us a penny, we get you ranked on the first page organically on Google and others. So I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for now.